What are some best buys and options to grab, whether you're free to play or spender in the Hunter's Market? Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. This is tomorrow will be the final video I'm going to do about the Hunter's Market. Then it's gone for good, and we're never going to mention it ever again. So options. Okay, we've got a bit of an update to the spreadsheet. I've been working on this, and yeah, it's now done. The spreadsheet's done. The good thing about this is that, bad thing. Good thing for Thronebreakers, bad thing for Paragon players. Your choice and options are very much narrow if you're a Paragon player and you are funneled into an area of going, I've got to go down this route or that route, or this is going to be a potential option available. So I'm going to point out some good things, I'm going to point out some bad things. And things mainly, I think, for Paragon players, you should avoid and go for, and same thing when it comes to Thronebreaker and Thronebreaker players, avoid and go for. If you're a Thronebreaker player, you may be tempted by this. This is not too bad of a deal. And of course, the main thing I should have said in the Valiant video, which I mentioned now, is you might be best off just holding off until the Banquet event to invest your units in other places. That's a given, that's a fact. If you've got lots of units, then you may consider certain options. Don't discredit this deal here. I'm actually going to recommend it. It's the 2019 to 2021, 2019 to 2021 selector. This champion selector will give you an option to get a champion as a 6-star that you may have never gotten before. That is a very rare thing for me. That's been a very rare thing for me. But also a very important element of attack for Battlegrounds, attack for Alliance War, defense for Alliance War, defense for Banquet, for Battlegrounds, right? That gives you this extra layer of option for getting a better champion in your roster to ascend, and also just can be like a game changer. That you Hercules for the very first time, Juggernaut. No, Juggernaut is actually not that. It's not 2019, but you know what I mean. Like any kind of 2019 to 2021 champion can be yours that you may never had before. So that's good for Thronebreaker. This then puts everything in a bit of a quandary for the for Paragon players around 7-star stuff. If you are a Thronebreaker player, if you're a Paragon player, God, I am just so bloody scuffed, I'll tell you that much. If you're a Paragon player, and as I've put here, you are limited with your access to 7-star materials and 7-star awakening options and stuff. You might as well say to yourself, do I want to get some of this very early on 1,000 unit repetition? You're basically buying this 5 times. Yes, that can be good to then access tier 6 class catalysts, which will be beneficial later down the line. But if you're a Paragon player, you've probably got more tier 6 class catalysts than you might think. And you've probably got more to come, especially if you do the Autumn of Agony. Yeah, Agony of Autumn. Autumn of Agony. Yeah, Autumn of Agony. And that will see you into the next layer. The next layer will be getting tier 4 alpha here and tier 6 class catalyst. If you're a Paragon player, this is going to be for you mainly. You have a bit of a quandary. If you are going to spend, or you have a budget for 14,000 units, you can get this right here. 5,000 units sets you into this area here. Then you can get 10,000 Titan Crystal Shards and 1 tier 4 alpha. You then get this deal here, which is 2 tier 4 alpha and 4 tier 6 class catalysts, which you get to choose, which is good because you may have 2 formed, 1 formed, and you're like, okay, well, I'll just send to everything around that. And I can rank up a 7-star to rank 3, which could be beneficial. It's beneficial because there is another way to go. And as I've put in the spreadsheet, this is your way in to get something additional. Those extra Titan Crystal Shards are the difference between spending in that way, or your alternative is to spend 15,000 units and get this deal right here. This deal gets you a rank 2 to 3 gem generic, which effectively you might have already got. It's highly likely, again, you'd have 1 tier 6 class catalyst as a Paragon player already formed. And 10 7-star signature stones for this deal. But do you have to do this? You could stop at 14,000 units, have a rank 3 7-star, and then have units left over for the Banquet event. I'm very particular about what I recommend and what I don't when it comes to the 7-star Awakening gem. It's okay. but there is a lot of unit spend to get something which you may not be able to use. And because you're not able to use it, because, you know, you might have a limited 7-star roster, you may not have you may get it, I don't know, for a mutant, and all your others are non-mutants, or the mutant you have isn't a very powerful one, you're left with a very difficult situation of making a decision on that, or holding on to it. And I don't think there's a great amount of that. If it was a generic, different story. That's my biggest concern with it, and I think it's my biggest concern for Paragon players with this, is that you don't need to spend a lot of units to get a lot out of this. You could spend a minimal amount of units, have leftovers for the Banquet event, which I do think about 9,500, maybe a bit more than that, will be enough to get you something good from that particular event. You've got to be very careful about decisions. Or do you want to spend 15,000? Because this is another element of this. Once you spend here, and say you go with that theory that I mentioned about, where is it, like coming back, double spending here and going, right, well that's 14,000 units. If you wanted that Craven, you could go and buy this deal here for 1,000, because then you've got 1,000 units spent and you've got a Craven as a result. That's another option. And funnily enough, did you see what I did there? Well, you could grab that last one there and get a choice. Yeah, you'll get your choice. You'll spend your 15,000 units. Effectively, it's the same thing as buying this one right here, but you've got an additional 10,000 Titan Crystal Shards for your trouble. That's actually pretty cool, but it requires you as a Paragon player to spend 15,000 units. You could do the same if you're a Thronebreaker player, and you're a Thronebreaker player now with the potential to be close to, or have, there's a chance to have, a rank 3 7-star. You may have that, you may not have that. It's all very exciting, isn't it, as to like where you see yourself going with it. I think there's definitely more fun available for Paragon and Thronebreaker players. For Valiant players, there's loads of decent stuff. It's just a perspective of where you're at, what's interesting. And a lot of those players are very much kind of like, well, we want rank 4, 7-star materials. They want generic Awakening gems, which currently is not found unless you go and spend a lot of money. So on the spending side of things, of course, you spend the more money, you get the more stuff. These Hunters bonus event, market bonus, will give you loads of decent stuff. But you got to spend a lot of money in order to do it. And you've got to spend it on the web store, I think, with it. From a perspective of spending money on some of the deals, your Allfather's Vault is okay. Okay for Thronebreaker players, not so okay for... Well, it's good actually for Thronebreaker players, not so good if you're a Paragon player for acquiring more things. If you're looking to dip in with spending a little bit and kind of grabbing some unit deals... that we've just kind of gone over, then I'm sure you're going to pick up a nice amount of stuff, especially from doubling up with grabbing more from here, the Odin's Vault, with getting some tier 4 alpha, some Titan Crystal Shards, and also grabbing some, if you wanted the Black Panther's treasure, grabbing some tier 6 class catalysts. Those are some really nice stuff that a lot of, like the decent things that people chase. Other than that, the lower deals are kind of a bit meh, but I don't know if they're a bit meh in order to satisfy you, or satisfy Kabam to trick you, bunny ears, trick you to spend more money to get better stuff. It's kind of like, well, yeah, I'll spend more money. Oh, that's great, spend more money. We're going to get some stuff from it, Kabam, yeah. So, yeah, I don't feel that there's a great amount of stuff from a spending perspective that's... better than these two here, sadly. Your extras, of course, and that's an issue because you're spending, what, in the region of like $140, which gets you 140 market points. And 140 market points will get you up to, or just below the 6-star version of Craven. So there's extras there. There's some nice enough stuff, but I don't know. As I've said in the previous bit of coverage, like I do feel it's like, it kind of feels a bit like a trap, isn't it? The better stuff is routed towards the end, and you have to spend a lot of money to get a lot out from the event. This is why I like the Banquet event a little bit, because you can get a lot from it by spending a smaller amount of units. Yes, if you want rank rewards, you get a lot more, but that's a different kettle of fish and a different story. Anyway, that's been it for the video. Thank you very much for watching, and also check out some other content which will be located on screen right now. That's going to be it from a progression-based perspective coverage. I'm going to get to bed in a minute because I am tired, but I need to get these videos uploaded and out. I'll see you all on the next one. Cheers, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.